Am I the idiot for uninviting my father to my wedding after cheating on my mom? This week has been a lot. I, 25/F, and my mom, 48/F, have been having suspicions about my father, 48/M, doing something for the last month and a half. Last week we uncovered a lot of disgusting texts and other evidence of my father actively cheating with a 28/F. He denied everything for the first 5 days, gaslighting her and calling me stupid for believing anything she said. He met this other woman at work, in his same department, and said she just texts him to annoy him. But again, we saw the texts where they discussed the nights they spent together and other graphic and descriptive things. Finally, day 6 he admits he cheated, but won't say the extent and continues to gaslight us about everything else. He's now making a lot of promises I'm sure will be empty. Mom wants a divorce and I support her 100%. She's struggling to let go because it's been 26 years. Almost my entire life, I watched my mom get abused by him, physically, mentally, and emotionally. When I reached a certain age, was also abused, and the system continued to fail us. In the last 10 or so years, he has mellowed out with physical altercations, but everything else remains. I have 4 younger siblings as well, but he hasn't done any of this with them. There have been a few other times we thought he was cheating, but couldn't find the proof. I haven't had a great relationship with him, but in the last few years, we have been okay, good even. So much so that I actually was wanting him to walk me down the aisle. It seemed like he was finally being the dad I needed. Currently, I don't think I can look at this man without throwing up. I tried so hard to give him the benefit of doubt and tried thinking of everything I could praying he was innocent. We finally made it. My mom is a mess, of course, and besides the fact that I think it would make her uncomfortable, I don't think I can handle him being there, let alone even talking to him. My relationship with my fiancé is founded on love, trust, and communication, and bringing this into my wedding I don't think I will be able to separate my father's actions and not let it upset me all day. I think this was the last straw and it's not something I can put past me. I haven't talked to him since everything happened, nor mentioned this because I'm terrified, but he's already blocked me on Facebook and has made no attempt to apologize to me for any of this even though my mom and I are suffering all the consequences of his actions while he's continuing to see this woman. So, am I the asshole for excluding him? Comment 1. NTA. Your relationship with your father has not been great in your whole life. He sounds like a narcissist and your gut instinct is to ban him from your wedding. Always trust your gut. Your father has blocked you ATM, so as hard and difficult it is, try using this as the time to remove him fully from your life. The saddest part of being a child is realizing that one/both of your parents don't put their kids first, and on some level don't care. Comment 2. No. No, you're absolutely NTA for keeping him out of your wedding. Actually, you're quite in your right to do so. What a disgusting man. Sleeping with a young woman, only slightly older than his very own daughter. I wish you and your mom the strength you need in that difficult time, and I hope she will succeed in divorcing him. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding. I wish the both of you the best in your future. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my dad he is no one to me? I, 25M, recently finished my MSc in the Netherlands, so my family threw a party to congratulate me. For context, my mom and dad divorced when I was 6 after my father was caught cheating with his Italian co-worker. Once the divorce was done, my dad was supposed to have me on weekends. I loved my father, so I joyfully expected the day. What I didn't know is that the day he left was the last I'd see my papa. After that he went NC like zero, not even paying CS. My mom remarried my stepdad, who is a wonderful dad to me. My bio dad moved to Italy with his lover. They married and had 3 kids. In 2013 I decided that I wanted to reach out to my father. I hadn't heard anything about him for 10 years. Thus, I reached him out on Facebook. He blocked me, which hurt me so much because I felt hated. Days later his wife contacted me to tell me it'd be better if I never contact him again because he has moved on and has a new family and it'd be less painful for the both of us. From that moment I decided that he no longer had the power to hurt me. In October 2021 his son, 22M, contacted me out of the blue to meet me. I politely declined and said that the door closed 9 years ago. My BD and his children have been calling and texting me since then. I've blocked them several times, but they keep changing numbers to talk to me. I returned to my country in February 12th, so my mom and dad threw a party February 24th. For my surprise, he showed up with his kids. I knew he was here because Grandpa isn't well. I told him to go, but he wanted to stay. Then I said, "Why would you stay? Who am I to you?" He replied, "My blood runs in your veins, all we share is blood and good memories. Before you left me, you are now no one to me. Just a stranger," I stated. He knelt and kissed my hand several times, saying sorry and that he loved me, but I said, "Sorry that I don't love you back." 19 years of absence can make feelings disappear. He left his children and he have been calling me to hang out, go hiking, go swimming, etc. But I've declined every time. My grandma begs me to go and see him. He is still in my country because he's been so depressed. My aunts, his sis, are on my side but not grandma. His wife has even come to my house to say I am TA for not giving him another chance even after he knelt. But then I said he closed the door 9 years ago and I'm not willing and don't even feel like opening it. Update. Okay, guys, here I am. Please, in case you don't remember, read the original post. So, yeah. I met my dad on March 16th. He came alone as I told him. We started talking. My aunt had already told me a few things about how my mom and grandparents probably colluded to keep me away from him, so I had a different POV. I asked, "Why? Why did you run away?" He said that it was complex, but he never intended to be away from me, but my grandparents and mom decided that it'd be better that way. Then he started telling me how much he loves me and that he dreams of me all the time, that he tried to love his other kids as much as he loves me but couldn't. He also said that he attempted to pay child support, but mom refused. He called my mom several times to talk to me, but she refused. He sent me BD cards and Christmas cards, but mom and grandparents kept them away from me, then started crying and begging my forgiveness. I told him that I'd ask my mom and granny about this to see if it's true, and he asked me to come with me. So, I confronted both of them and they admitted everything because it was better this way. I had a mental breakdown, started crying and my head started hurting. Then when I was calmed down, my dad and I had another conversation. He told me that he wanted to be my father and that he wouldn't push a relationship with his family unless I want. But letting him in again was enough. So I told him that it's a little late to be my dad and also complained about the time he blocked me on Facebook, but he got pissed off and said that it wasn't him the one who blocked me, and I also told him about his wife telling me to not contact them again and how that F** kept up my life. He seemed mad at her and promised that he'll never let her between us again. I complained about why he didn't visit since money wasn't a problem and he could legally push to have me at least on holy days. So I don't buy though. I love you more than my other kids. He came because his father is dying but couldn't come to see his most beloved child. He said that as I was getting older, he was afraid of rejection. Then my mom and dad had a huge argument. My dad was basically blaming her and grandma. I told both of them to not talk to me for a while because I need to think. I went NC. My half-siblings invited me to go to the beach and I agreed. Dad paid for the trip. They are nice and I really enjoyed the time with them. They said that they always wanted to meet me and let me know a few things about their life as a family. They also told me that my dad had a portrait of me in the living room and that he used to be so depressed on my birthday because he couldn't have me, April 25th. And that's it, I'm just healing. I had some therapy sessions. I don't talk to them yet, my parents. But dad sends me texts every night stating, "I love you, please remember that you are enough." No, he doesn't want a kidney. He doesn't want money. GP won't change his will. Comment 1. Wow, that was a very intense update. I cannot imagine the emotional, mental and physical toll these revelations would have on you. Thank you for taking the time to update us. This situation seems more complicated with each new member of your family being introduced to the situation. Going NC is a great idea. One thing to add to that is asking your parents/grandparents to leave you alone until you reach out. This is a lot of info to process after a literal decades of believing something else. This has a twofold benefit. First, it will tell you who in your life respects you and your wishes by leaving you alone. Second, it can provide those people with the context that you're willing to reconsider your stance, which can be true or not true. You could just reaffirm your position as well. But it gives you the space you need to process, which should be the one priority since your life was the most impacted by your adults' lies. You don't necessarily know who's 100% the good or bad guy because it seems like no one is blameless. But you can at least see who is willing to healthily address it and work on developing a relationship with you going forward. Comment 2. I would get them both out of my life quickly after these revelations. Thanks for the update. Hope you are well. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my dad to F*** CK off after he apologized? My 21M parents, 44M, 46F, got divorced when I was 7 because my mom cheated on my dad. It was a difficult time for me because I barely understood what was going on, but decided to stay with my dad and visit my mom on weekends. My dad stayed single for 2 years until he found my stepmom. They married and moved in with us. She already had 2 kids. 20M 18F. From her previous relationship, I started losing my dad from that moment. I felt a little cast aside and dad tend to favor them over me all the time. Like if I wanted a toy of mine and they also wanted it, he would yell, "Just let them have it," and he would also bully me. Reminding me of my mom's affair. Your mom is a WH*re. She abandoned you, my mom didn't abandon me. She would have me on weekends and pick me up from school every day. At the age of 10 I was sick of it, and decided to go to live with my mom. The custody agreement was 50-50ths. But she respected my wish until I decided to live full-time with her. My stepdad is great, just to let you know how close we are. He was the first person I came out to, which drove my mom and dad mad. My dad asked to have me on weekends. I didn't want to, because I hated his family, but the court had the last say. I could never have my dad for me again. If we went camping, hiking or swimming, he would bring his stepkids, which I hated because he constantly favored them over me. He missed many of my events and birthdays because his family needed him, as he said. At the age of 15, I let him know that I'd stop going to his house because I hated being around his family. He acknowledged he has neglected me and changed for a while, like making the time to be just with me. Then he just got back to where we started. He stood me up several times, and at 17 he called me a brat because I refused to let his family be at my high school graduation. Since then we've just texted, some phone calls, and we hang out alone few times. His wife divorced him this February, and her kids have no interest in spending time with him. He showed up at my house Monday with a 9K card to apologize because he acknowledges that he neglected me over the years, and asked me to move in with him again. He was crying and said sorry, but I told him to leave an F***ck off and also reminded him everything he missed and spoke. He has been texting me every day since to reconcile and promises to never let anyone between us again. My granny says he is my father and I should give him a second chance since he learnt from his mistakes.